Hi, welcome back to Educator.com. Today we're going to get a real first set of strategies for critical reading. We're going to talk in depth about the sentence completion aspect of the critical reading section. So, legal disclaimer, test names are the registered trademarks of the respective owners. Said owners are not affiliated with Educator.com. The College Board was not involved in the production of and does not endorse this course. Each sentence completion question will give you a sentence that has a blank or sometimes two blanks in it. It's your job to figure out which choice best fills that blank. This entire lesson we're going to be discussing a variety of different stratagems to figure out what the best choice is. From small, quick, easy strategies to, more fundamental things that actually take a bit more thinking, and then also some ways that you can just improve your vocabulary in general. So first we'll start off with those really fundamental ideas and we'll work our way out from there. The best choice. This is the phrase you always hear. You have to fill the answer. The answer is not the right choice. It's not you have to find the right word to fit in the blank. You have to find the best word, the best choice. So in questions involving English, you aren't looking for the right choice. You're looking for the best choice. So unlike a math question where the first choice that works is the only choice that can possibly work. Math questions only have one answer. But for English questions, there's things where it can be one thing can kind of work, but still not be as good as another thing. So when we're working on English questions, we have to actually look through all of them to be able to find the one that really works well. It's not enough for it to just kind of work. It has to actually be definitely the best of all of them. This means that if you're working on an English question, you have to read all of the choices before answering. You might see it in the very first one and be like, oh, that's the answer, but you have to double check and make sure you go through the rest of the choices before you actually choose the answer. You don't want to choose one that's pretty darn good, but then find one that's excellent at the end and not have ever noticed the excellent one at the end. On the flip side, occasionally you will get a question where none of the answers seem very good. Remember, the people making this test are fallible. They're human, So once in a while, they're going to make a question where the answer just isn't that great an answer, and all the choices are going to seem to be not terribly good. So if that's the case, where it seems like all of the answers don't work, all of the choices don't really fit the blank, what you want to do is you want to find which one fits best. So by that, it's not it fit really well, it's oh, it fit better than all the others. It is the least terrible of the choices. So sometimes you'll wind up thinking the best choice isn't really a good choice, it's just better than the alternative. So that's an important idea. Read, understand, guess. That's the order you should do stuff when you're approaching a sentence completion question. For every sentence completion question, read the entire sentence before you look at the questions. Don't let temptation get the better of you. It's really easy to the very first thing you do is start looking over the choices. That's actually not going to normally help you on a sentence completion. Instead, read the sentence on its own, blanks and all. Why? Because you want to try to understand the sentence before you start considering all those vocabulary words. Those vocabulary words, in many ways, are just going to get in the way of you understanding what's going on in the sentence. The sentences are designed so that they can be understood without the blanks being filled. The blank doesn't have to have a word in it for you to get an idea of what the sentence is about. So get an idea of what the sentence is trying to say. What is it saying even without that word there? Once you've got a sense of what the sentence is saying, use what you know to make a guess. So guess what you think the word is going to be. From what you've read in the sentence, from what you understand the sentence is saying, what do you think would fit well? It doesn't have to be a fantastic guess. Just come up with something before you read the choices. Why is this so useful? Because if you have a choice in mind before you look at all of the choices, then it means that you're going to have the chance to be able to just quickly look and see which one of these is kind of similar to what I guessed. If it's, you guess one word and the word is completely unlike your guess, it's probably not going to be the answer. But if you guess something and then it's the exact same thing as your guess or something that's really, really close, like, something that's synonymous, it's probably the answer. So making a guess is actually one of the fastest ways to be able to progress through this. So make a guess, then look at the choices. Once you guess, you can finally read the choices and try to figure out which one of these is a reasonable answer. Positive, negative, neutral. What does the blank feel like? So It is often enough to just get a sense for what kind of word should go in the blank. Getting a really good guess is actually not something you have to do. You don't have to have this super accurate guess that totally works, and maybe you're like, oh, the word, what's that word? I'm so close to being able to remember what the word is. That's okay. It's often enough to just get a sense for get a feel for what goes there before you go. The real point of this is to keep you from just looking at all of the choices before you really have a sense of what the sentence is about. Know what the sentence is about, know what you should expect for the blank, then start looking at the choices. So something you can do, instead of coming up with a really good guess, is just figure out what is the blank. What's the feel of the blank? Is it going to say something positive? Is it going to say something negative? Or is it going to say something neutral? Is it going to use sort of a positive adjective, something you might like to be described with, or something that's a generally good thing, like fantastic, or nice, or kind, or, great? Is it going to have something along those lines, a positive kind of word? Or is it going to have a negative kind of word, like villain, or evil, or enemy, some sort of word that has always a negative connotation with it? Or is it something that is, a completely just scientific word like, carbon dioxide? It doesn't really have positive or negative connotations, it's just a word. So try to figure out what sort of word is going to fit in that blank. And if it has two blanks, also try to do the positive negative thing for both of them, and also get a sense of, do those two blanks agree? Do they disagree? Or do they not really have any direct connection to each other? Compare your expectations to the choices. If you know that the blank is going to be a positive thing, if it's clear that it has to be positive from everything else that came out in the sentence, then you know that all of the negative choices you can just knock out immediately. So by getting a quick sense of, is it positive, is it negative, or is it neutral, you can quickly look at the choices and knock out a lot of them and move quickly.